Since I cover a lot of Need for Speed, obviously I get a lot of comments about Need for Speed, and I see a lot of people kind of skepticizing about the next game, and I kind of want to share my opinions on why I'm so excited for Need for Speed and why I'm not worried in what Ghost is going to do, because I feel like this is quite important. First things first, and I want to make this abundantly clear, this is my opinion. A lot of people in the comments seem to think I'm being paid by Ghost, and considering I literally have 10k subscribers, there's a lot of other people they could go to. I just like Need for Speed. That's literally the only reason why my channel exists currently today. When I made racing videos, the only reason why I started making racing videos was because I like Need for Speed and I like the direction racing as we're going at the time. I really shouldn't have had to make that clear, to be quite frank, because if there was something going on behind the scenes, I would have told you guys, as I have previously. Anything which has happened, I have made completely transparent, and for something, you know, I don't really understand why people say that, because, you know, like I said, I'm only on 10k. Even if, you know, I was Theo size at 400k, that's something I would make abundantly clear straight from the get-go. Now let's talk about the first actual point, which is Need for Speed 2015. People like to go on about that game like it was the worst thing, like, since Satan himself. That game was not bad. Not bad by any stretch of the imagination. It got a lot of hate, you know, that's kind of expected, to be honest, but people go on about that game like it was as bad as Rivals, and if you think it was as bad as Rivals, you're fucking mad. That game was so just different to what we've had in the past few years of racing games. It was truly the first racing game which brought back customization on such a large level. You know, whether you like the fact that certain cars didn't have as much as others, you know, whether you think the car list was short, which, may I add, for a Need for Speed game, it completely isn't. The game was a huge step forward, and it's not a bad game. People like to go on about it. You know, when you hear people talking about Need for Speed, you'll say, oh yeah, I love the customization, I love this, that, the other, but and yes, it's okay to critique the game. I'm not like saying it's wrong to critique the game, but I feel like these critiques are like exaggerated to the extent where it sounds like they make the game worse. And if that's your opinion, fair enough, but for me, I loved Need for Speed 2015. There's a reason why I've almost put like 1,000 hours into that game. Yes, 1,000. I'm like 200 away. Now, granted, I'm probably not going to hit 1,000, but there's a reason why I have put so much time into the game. It's because I fucking enjoyed it. When I make videos on Need for Speed on my Xbox, and people usually see like the 7 million in the bottom corner, they're like, how do you have so much money? And the answer I always give them is playtime. My playtime speaks for itself. I enjoyed Need for Speed 2015 to the point where I literally have almost 8 million stored in the bank just there. So that's kind of my first point out of the way with. I personally really enjoyed Need for Speed 2015. The car list was good. People who are expecting a Forza car list, you kind of need to tone down your expectations. It isn't Forza. Need for Speed car lists have never really gone over like 150, I don't ever think. I think most cars in Need for Speed game, not counting World and stuff, was probably around 150. So if you're expecting Forza level cars, you're fucking mad, and you need to tone down your expectations. You know, Need for Speed's car list was very, very healthy. Of course, it was missing out certain things, but you know, that is to be like, that's gonna happen, you know, considering this is still Ghost's first proper game if you don't count Rivals, and everything had to be built from the ground up. To be honest, for me, the car list was really good. I personally enjoyed the car list. There was multiple cars which I actually liked using in the game, whether that was modern, old, you know, I would have liked in a few things from certain places, but the car list was really, really good. The physics. Your physics was it's a bit of a weird one, really. Not the greatest, but not unplayable is how I'd explain it. If you learn the physics, you could definitely do well in that game, and I got to the point where I learned the drift physics so well that like I could easily just beat any gold score on prestige mode just like that. There was like a skill gap to it. Like, you saw the ones who were actually good at the game like do certain things. Now granted, there was a few issues like dragging to the side, the car feeling like a magnet, but it was nowhere near as bad as everyone says. Again, I feel like this is something which a lot of people just over dramatized. Of course it's going to change. Of course I want it to change. But, you know, people saying that like it's the worst physics they've ever used in a racing game. Ooh, these people are still playing Drift Street Japan, that's all I'm saying. And people forget that, you know, the game before this was Rivals. I feel like as part of the issue is the fact that people don't know Need for Speed's history. People don't realize how bad Rivals was beforehand. People don't realize, you know, certain elements of Need for Speed 2015 haven't been present for games upon games upon games. Manual transmission was not in Most Wanted 2012, nor was it in Rivals, nor was it in the one before. It hasn't been featured in a Need for Speed game in ages, but for some reason, those games didn't get given any negative points for not having those modes. Customization, although, you know, some cars don't have it, it's got the most customization in a racing game in the past 5 years. No arguments. You know, in terms of authentic customization, there's no other game in the past 5 years which has come out which has more than Need for Speed 2015. If you guys can think of one and you can correct me, please do in the comments. This is what this video is trying to promote, is discussion. So if you can't think of one, link it down in the comments. But in terms of licensed parts, I can't think of any. At least in terms of like ratio for like variants of cars. You know, like you're never gonna find another game that you can customize the headlights, the tail lights, the bumpers, the wheels, you know, the hoods on a BRZ. That's just not gonna happen. Minus maybe the crew, but the crew doesn't have anywhere near the amount of parts as Need for Speed does. And this leads me on to why I really don't have any worries going into the next game. Fan service. Ghost are pure fan service. I mentioned this in the last video I made about Need for Speed 2017. Yeah, Need for Speed 2015 was literally pure fan service. Everything they did on that game was literally with the fans in mind. Who else does that? No one else does that. You can hate on them all you want, but Ghost are one of the most fan-oriented developers going. Of course, there's always going to be some marketing bullshit. That's always going to be a thing, doesn't matter where you go. But I feel like it's minimized in this field with Ghost because they actually do deliver. They said they were going to have authentic customization, which they did. They said, you know, they were going to have a story, which they did. They said they were going to have an underground theme, which they kind of did. The only thing which I don't feel like they really delivered on was the police. I think that was one thing which they really dropped the ball on, and that's my only real proper complaint about the game, is the police were literally dead. You know, I've made videos about what I want to see change in the next game, but realistically, they really did well. And considering, like I said, this game was complete fan service, it was very possible we could have got a Rivals 2. And considering they took the extra year to do this, that's fine by me. I'm not trying to like dishearten anyone's opinion or like just push it to the side and say you're wrong, because that's not what I'm trying to do here. What I'm trying to do is just express my feelings of how I see everything. I just feel like some people just need to sit down and shut up and just enjoy the game, because Need for Speed is in the best place it's been in years, and people are making out like that's not the case. We're in for a good game. We're in for a good game, and as soon as that E3 trailer comes round, boy, I don't think you guys quite realise how excited I am for this game. I know I'm going to enjoy it. They could literally just have Need for Speed 2015, more cars, more customization, more map, and I will still play that game. It's so different from what Rivals was, and, you know, it's so different from what we've had in past years for Need for Speed. I'm just glad to see a return to form. Of course, I'm expecting more than just a new map, new cars, and that's it. I'm expecting revamped AI and cop AI. I'm expecting always offline. I'm expecting, you know, easy, hard, medium mode. I've made videos on wishlist stuff I want, you know. I'm expecting pink slips, wages, you know, all these types of things. And I have literally I don't feel in any way that Ghost will not deliver. For me personally, and obviously I'm going to be a bit biased because I am a Need for Speed, you know, fan. I like the series. I followed it literally through all of its ups and down points. I made a documentary purely off my own merits about the history of that game. I grew up with it. It was one of the games that I grew up with, you know, Underground, Hot Pursuit, Most Wanted, all the games, in Undercover, Pro Street, all of them. That was what I played when I was younger. So of course there's going to be some biasy there, but I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that I think the next Need for Speed game is going to be shit, because to be honest, I've got high expectations, and I have literally, like, I know Ghost will deliver on my expectations. I'm not getting overhyped. I'm not getting, you know, I'm not setting bars which I know Ghost can't do. I know that Ghost will deliver on this next game. Have faith in Ghost. Trust in Ghost. They know what they're doing. Trust me, they know what they're doing. And again, like I said, this next game is going to be huge. You know, obviously there's certain things I would like to see, like if it was set in Japan, that would be awesome, but like I'm not going to sit here and say if it's not set in Japan I'm going to kill myself. You know, it's just going to be one of those things like, oh, it's not set in Japan. With Horizon, you know, that's kind of a bit different. The location means a lot more in Horizon because, well, the gameplay is the same every time, so the location and the map is a lot more important. As where Need for Speed, the gameplay for me is just Pro mount. They're gonna nail it. They're gonna nail it, boys. And all I'm saying is, if you agree with anything I said in this video, I like to think a lot of people are in the same boat. So I had to get off my chest. It was a bit ranty. I do apologise, you know, if I didn't get some of my points across correctly. I will go down in the comments and like just reply to everything if you have any questions or any like criticisms about what I said in today's video. But this video is a discussion video, so make sure to go ahead and leave some comments down below. But that's been it from me today. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to go ahead and hit the like, subscribe. I will see you guys in the next one. You guys have an awesome day. Safe and peace.